Good, happy Saturday morning, January 9, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Saturday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. It's time to rise and shine, and grab your cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Saturday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. Hopefully you're all having a great morning, everyone. We're going to start off with your COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University of Medicine. Let's take a look at those updates for you right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. Your global cases are 88,984,282. U.S. cases are 21,871,822. Your global deaths are 1,915,657. U.S. deaths are 368,932. That is a look at your COVID-19 dashboard from Johns Hopkins University and Medicine. And now let's switch gears and get to your other news. Two Seattle police officers being investigated for involvement in Capitol attack. The police chief says he is prepared to immediately terminate them. At least two Seattle police officers have been placed on leave and are being investigated for their alleged involvement in the U.S. Capitol protest. The Seattle Police Department released a statement Friday night saying that it was made aware Friday of the officers' involvement in January 6th siege and is now taking the appropriate measures. Investigators combining through massive U.S. Capitol crime scenes in wake of pro-Trump riot, probes into death, explosives, and foreign agents are all underway. Federal agents and detectives from the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department have launched a border of multi-pronged investigations into the mayhem and death Wednesday at the United States Capitol that sources tell ABC News include an effort to determine the motives of the military functions of the mob that invaded the heart of American government. Capitol attack. Another reminder of two Americans that exist. Opinion. Currently, there's a lot of finger pointing going on in our country. Growing up, my family of 5 shared one television in the living room of our small apartment on the east side of Detroit. We were poor. Second-hand clothing, food stamps, blocks of government cheese in the fridge. But on the days the power was turned off, television helped us forget our circumstances. It was the keeper of dreams, an electric catalog of treasures we hope to obtain someday. Take a look. Take a look at this article. And if you want to read this article again, we will share it with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page right after this broadcast. Boeing plane goes missing in Indonesia. The plane lost more than 10,000 feet of altitude in less than 1 minute. A passenger airplane has gone missing in Indonesia. Siri Wajib Air Flight SJ-182 lost more than 10,000 feet of altitude in less than 1 minute, about 4 minutes after departure from Jakarta. Flight Radar 24 tweeted Saturday morning. Take a look at that tweet. They added that the flight was operated by a Boeing 737-500 Classic with registered number PKCLC MSN 27323, lost minutes later at 7:40. Also, Flight Radar said the plane was en route from Jakarta to Pontianak in Indonesia. The heights of the altitude it reached was 10,900 feet, and the last altitude recorded was 250 feet. The Ministry Transportation Office in Jakarta confirmed to ABC News that the flight lost contact after departing from Soekarno Hatta International Airport in Jakarta. A search for the plane is now starting, and the situation is under investigation. The first flight for this aircraft was in May 1994. It was 26 years old, Flight Radar 24 said. This is a developing news story. We will be sure to keep you updated as we get more information into our newsroom. Twitter permanently suspends Donald Trump's account. President teases new platform. The social media platform has been his preferred method of communication. It appears President Donald Trump will have to find a new preferred platform to share his views with the world. Twitter announced Friday evening that it had permanently suspended Trump's personal Twitter account. Take a look. As you can see, real Donald Trump, his personal Twitter account, has been suspended. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. A quick moving storm to bring heavy snow to New Mexico and Texas. Up to 8.5 inches of snow was reported in western North Carolina. And now let's take a look at the weather across the United States for today. And here's a look at the weather across the United States for today. In Boston, it'll be 35 degrees. In New York City, 39 degrees. Washington, D.C., 45 degrees. Atlanta, 41 degrees. Jacksonville, Florida, 54 degrees. Tampa Bay, Florida, 58 degrees. Miami, Florida, 67 degrees. Dallas, Texas, 51 degrees. Phoenix, 68 degrees. Los Angeles, 72 degrees. And San Francisco, 58 degrees. And that is a look at the weather across the United States for today. And switching gears now, here are some simple ways to get financially fit in 2021. Let's take a look at that video right now from GMA3, What You Need to Know.
All week long, we've been sharing tips to kick off the new year right, and when it comes to New Year resolutions, something on most people's list, especially this year, is managing their money.
All right, let's get some help here. Robach and I are not going to give you financial advice. We gotta bring in somebody who can help, though, to get those finances in check and be smarter about your spending. And who is that person? That's financial expert and New York Times bestselling author Nicole Lapin. Nicole, hello. It is good to have you here. Everybody's looking for step one, right? What's the first thing we need to do?
The step one is admitting you have a problem. And we all have problems, TJ, especially money problems. The next thing to do is come up with a plan. You know, come February, a lot of folks are like, hey, Nicole, I'm so off budget. And the first thing I say is, did you even have a budget? So come up with a basic spending plan. And I like to break that down into the 3 E's. I love alliteration. It just makes it easier. So essentials, endgame, and extras, where 70% of your overall take-home pay goes to the essentials. So your food, your housing, your transportation. 15% goes to the endgame. So your savings, your retirement, your future self, the future Amy, the future TJ. Your future self will, of course, thank you. And no more than 15% to the extras. So the random stuff. You know, usually I say a latte. If you can't buy a latte these days, some random thing on Amazon, if that is a treat to you, whatever does it for you. But make sure you add that in, because a financial diet is a lot like a regular diet. If you don't allow yourself to small indulgences, you'll end up binging later on.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, Nicole, obviously this pandemic has cost us a lot, and many people who even maybe had that savings account, those savings accounts have now been drained. How do we keep that important money there for these types of emergency situations if we've already run through it all, given what we've been through for this past year?
Totally, Amy, and you're not alone out there, because a lot of people feel that way, but setting everything up automatically so that you're safeguarding yourself against yourself makes it easier. So if you don't see it coming out of your paycheck, you're less likely to spend it, of course. So put a little amount. If you feel like you can't put a lot, just $50 a month, and then ramp it up as you realize just how painless it is. Ideally, you'll have 6 to 9 months of savings in the bank. So that's all the essentials that we talked about, the basic expenses that you'll need to live on, not the extra stuff. But putting it on autopilot makes it foolproof.
I like that. All right, Nicole Lapin, thank you so much for these tips that a lot of us can use these days. Thank you again, and have a wonderful weekend.
Great to see you guys.
Well, hey,
Okay, there you go. Good tips there for all of you. And if you want to see that video again, we will share it with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page right after this broadcast. And switching gears now, let's go into entertainment news. In today's entertainment news, Donald Trump acknowledges election defeat as celebs push for impeachment. Let's see which celebs are pushing for impeachment. Let's take a look at that video from Entertainment Tonight.
Inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation.
On Thursday, President Donald Trump released that video, acknowledging for the first time that a new administration will take over on January 20th.
Serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed But I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning.
The video comes after his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday following a rally he held earlier in the day where he encouraged the crowd to hit up the Capitol.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women, and we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them.
Lawmakers called for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, which would remove Trump from office. And now Hollywood is weighing in.
You change the world by sharing your stories with other people and sharing your knowledge and wisdom of what you've learned.
On Thursday, Lady Gaga hit up Twitter to push for Congress to impeach the president instead, writing, quote, "I hope we focus to impeach Trump so Congress has the constitutional authority to possibly disqualify him from future elections. The 25th Amendment doesn't disqualify him. He incited domestic terror. How much more violence needs to happen? This is terrorism." And John Cryer summed it all up, writing, "Impeach him, remove him, arrest him, try him." And while Cryer and Gaga are calling for impeachment, Sophia Bush tweeted, "It feels like a great time for the 25th Amendment." Stevie Wonder echoed that, writing in part, quote, "That man is no longer able to serve as president because he can't accept defeat. Can we afford 2 more weeks? I say no." As for that speech Trump gave...
But now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results.
Meghan McCain had something to say about that, tweeting, quote, "All you had to do to get Trump to concede was cancel his Twitter account for 12 hours? Yeah, not only did Twitter remove a handful of tweets by the president, but on Wednesday they blocked him from posting for 12 hours. Then on Thursday, Facebook announced that it was banning Trump until at least January 20th, which is, of course, the end of his presidential term.
Okay, and there you go on that video. Lots of celebrities weighing in there. Last night was the final episode of Jeopardy with Alex Trebek. As you know, Alex Trebek passed away, but he taped several shows. And last night was the final show with Alex Trebek in it. Jeopardy honors Alex Trebek with a bittersweet tribute. Let's take a look at that tribute from Access Hollywood.
Until next time on Jeopardy, Alex Trebek. So long. So long, everybody. So long, everyone. So long. So long, everybody. So long. So long. So long. So long.
Gone, but never forgotten. Jeopardy honors Alex Trebek with a bittersweet tribute to commemorate his final episode. The long-running quiz show bid farewell to Alex on January 8th, 2 months after the iconic host died of pancreatic cancer. The 80-year-old taped his last appearance in October, and Jeopardy included a heartfelt look back at his best moments on air over the years.
Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, I do not write the clues. Priceless entertainment. You are right. No, you're not right. Oh! My influence is felt everywhere.
No permanent host has been named to take Alex's place, but previous champion Ken Jennings will serve as the first of multiple guest MCs, followed by news veteran Katie Couric. Alex had manned the Jeopardy podium since 1984, accumulating more than 8,000 episodes during his run, and it all started with a little help from a famous friend. Back in 2016, Alex shared with Access Hollywood how his late pal Alan Thicke, who had recently passed away at the time of the interview, gave him his big break in game shows.
Alan Thicke is the reason I got my big break here in the United States. In the early 1970s, I was working as a staff announcer with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation in Toronto, Canada. And one of my jobs was hosting a daytime talk variety show called Afternoon. And Alan and his then singing partner, Brian Russell, appeared as guest performers on that show on a number of occasions. Well, they found all three. Brian Russell wound up marrying Cheryl Ladd. Alan married Gloria Loring. And I didn't hear from them for a couple of years. But then in early 1973, I got a phone call one Wednesday afternoon from Alan Thicke. And he said, my new writing partner and I have just created a game show for NBC called Wizard of Odds. We've exhausted all of the available hosts. We can't settle on anybody. Would you consider auditioning as host of that program? I said, sure. So the next day he flew to Toronto. That night we went to his parents' home. He explained the game to me. The following day I went back to his parents' house. We rehearsed with his parents and neighbors. And then the day after that, Saturday, I flew to New York City, went to the New York Hilton Hotel, worked with Marty Pasetta, the late director, and practiced the game. We did a run-through in front of an audience. I flew immediately back to Toronto, and at 11:30 that night, Alan called me and said, you've got the job. We want you to come to California to do the pilot.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that tribute. And now let's take a look at those celebrity birthdays for today. Let's see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful Saturday. And that's gonna do it for this morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Saturday, everyone, and see you back here later on today with more news coverage. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit.